All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into credit cards.
Oh, okay.
I know you sent over a guide on using them wisely, dodging those high interest rates.
Oh.
Sounds like you're really on a mission to take control of finances.
Definitely.
And so we're not going to spend too much time on the basics here.
Okay.
I know you're already pretty familiar with, how they work and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're going to kind of go beyond that and uncover some surprising things
Cool.
that can really make a difference in your, financial life.
Sounds good.
Um,
Yeah, most people kind of get the basic idea, right?
Right.
Spend now, pay later.
yeah.
But I think what a lot of people don't really realize is the psychological impact of carrying a balance.
Right.
It can really weigh you down,
Yeah, it's like this invisible weight.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's not just about the numbers themselves, it's about how it can affect you mentally.
Totally.
The guide talks about credit limits.
Yes.
And setting a spending limit below what your bank gives you.
Right. And that's so important. Being proactive.
Yeah.
Not letting the credit card company, dictate your spending.
Right.
Think of it like this, your credit limit is kind of like a really powerful car,
Okay.
It can be exhilarating,
Yeah.
but if you don't know how to, handle it, it can quickly spin out of control.
Oh, wow.
And so setting your own spending limit is like putting on the brakes before you reach a dangerous speed.
That's such a good analogy.
Yeah.
Because it really is about staying in control.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, the guide really emphasizes paying your bill in full every month.
Yeah,
That's credit card wisdom 101, right?
it is.
But everybody knows that.
I think there's a deeper reason why it's so crucial.
Okay.
It all comes down to understanding how revolving credit works.
Oh, okay.
It's like, imagine you're on this hamster wheel,
Okay.
You're running and running, but you're not really getting anywhere.
Oh.
That's what happens when you only make the minimum payments. Yeah.
On your credit card,
Okay.
you're barely keeping up with the interest charges,
Right.
and the debt just keeps piling up.
Oh, wow. So you're just constantly chasing your tail.
Exactly.
That's a really good analogy.
Yeah.
So paying in full breaks you free from that wheel.
Precisely when you pay in full each month, you're basically using the credit card company's money for free. You're enjoying the convenience
Yeah.
and the potential benefits
Right.
without that burden of interest charges.
Oh, that's a really good point.
And here's a little insider tip.
Okay.
Aligning your due date with your payday
Oh.
can make that whole process even smoother.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah,
So it's all about optimizing your cash flow.
exactly.
Okay, so speaking of being strategic, the guide also talks about using credit cards mainly for things you planned.
Yes,
Planned purchases and essential expenses.
absolutely. Think of it as a way to enhance your budget,
Yeah.
not replace it.
Okay.
So by using your card for things you've already budgeted for.
You're essentially just streamlining your payments and maybe earning some rewards along the way.
Okay, so that brings us to rewards then.
Yeah.
Cashback points, travel miles.
Yeah.
They can be really enticing,
They are.
but I'm sure there's a catch.
The key is to use those rewards programs strategically.
Okay.
You don't want them to control your spending.
Right.
So don't fall into the trap of buying things you don't really need
Right.
just to rack up points, because that defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, it defeats the whole purpose of,
Yeah.
saving money and being financially responsible.
Exactly.
So it's about using rewards as a bonus,
Yes.
not the main reason for buying something.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's talk about installment plans.
Okay.
They seem convenient,
Yeah.
at first,
Right.
but the guide warns that they can lead to a spiral of high bills and ongoing interest.
Yeah, it's tempting to break down a large purchase
Mhm.
into smaller, more manageable payments.
Right.
But those installments often come with some pretty hefty interest charges.
Oh.
It's like you're paying a premium just to spread out your payments.
So you really need to read that fine print
Absolutely.
and understand the true cost
Yes,
of those installment plans.
for sure. And if possible, try to avoid them altogether.
Okay.
If you can save up and pay for larger purchases in full, you'll save yourself a lot of money in the long run.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, this next part is really interesting to me. The guide talks about online shopping.
Yeah.
And, that add to cart button can be pretty dangerous.
So it's so easy to overspend online
It is.
because it doesn't feel like real money.
This is
It's like you're playing a video game.
Right, and then that credit card bill comes and you're like, oh, shoot.
Exactly. Reality sets in.
Yeah. The guide suggests using a budgeting app
Yes,
to track your spending, like both online and offline.
absolutely, because you got to have everything in one place
You do.
to really see the big picture.
Yeah, it's like having a little financial guardian angel
Right.
on your shoulder.
Exactly. And some of these apps are really amazing.
Oh, yeah.
They use AI to analyze your spending
Wow.
and give you personalized advice.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's like having a personal finance coach in your pocket.
I like it. All right, so it seems like technology can be a really useful tool.
Absolutely.
The guide also mentions negotiating with your bank,
Yes.
which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, you can actually negotiate a lower interest rate.
Wait, really?
Yes, a lot of people don't realize that.
I had no idea.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how often banks are willing to work with you,
Okay,
especially if you have a good credit history.
that makes sense.
So it's definitely worth a try.
So you're saying, like, pick up the phone?
Exactly. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta be prepared.
Oh,
Know your credit score.
right.
Have a clear idea of your spending habits.
Mhm.
And be ready to explain why you deserve a lower rate.
Okay, solid advice.
And if your bank won't budge,
Yeah.
there are other options.
Like what?
Well, the guide mentions personal loans.
Right.
Those often have lower interest rates than credit cards,
Okay.
and they can be a good way to consolidate your debt.
Oh, that's smart. So you're basically taking out a new loan
Exactly.
to pay off your old debt.
Right. But with a lower interest rate.
Gotcha. So it's all about being proactive
Exactly.
and finding ways to improve your situation.
Yes. And speaking of being proactive,
Yeah.
you really need to understand all the fees
Oh, right.
associated with your credit card.
Not just the interest rate.
Right. All those hidden fees.
Yeah.
They can really add up.
They can.
Late fees, annual fees, balance transfer fees.
I never really paid much attention to those before,
I know a lot of people don't.
but they can make a big difference.
They can.
So you're saying we should read the fine print.
Absolutely. Every single word.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to ask questions,
Good advice.
because not all credit cards are created equal. Some are better for rewards.
Yeah.
Some have lower interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about finding the right fit for you.
So do your research.
Exactly. Shop around.
Oh, okay.
Compare different cards.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like there's this whole secret world of credit cards,
Yeah.
you know, that we need to like unlock and understand.
Absolutely. And the more you know,
Right.
the better decisions you can make.
Yeah, and we've covered a lot today.
We have.
Like from that whole psychological impact of debt
Yeah.
to actually negotiating with your bank.
Which a lot of people don't even think about.
I know. I never would have thought about that.
Right. So,
It's about being empowered,
yeah.
you know, taking control
Yeah.
of your financial life.
So listener's name, let's do a quick recap
Oh,
of all this credit card wisdom.
yeah,
We talked about setting those spending limits
right.
below what the bank gives you.
Yes, being proactive
Yes, and breaking free from that hamster wheel.
of revolving credit. Right. By paying your bill in full every month
Yes, every single month.
and not letting those rewards programs
Right.
control your spending.
You got to use them strategically.
Mhm.
Don't let them use you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we talked about aligning your due date
Yes.
with your payday
Smart move.
and focusing on those planned purchases
Right.
and essential things
Absolutely.
and really considering the true cost
Yes.
of those installment plans.
Because they can be sneaky.
They can be. And being careful with that online shopping.
Oh yeah, that add to cart button is,
Dangerous.
it is so dangerous. And those budgeting apps
Yeah.
is really help.
They can be a game changer
Yeah, and knowing that you can negotiate
with your bank
with your bank.
for a lower interest rate.
I mean, that's huge.
It is.
And those personal loans can be helpful too.
Yes. For consolidating debt.
Yeah, so many good things to think about.
It's all about taking control
It is.
one step at a time.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
I'm curious, what small changes can you make today
that's a good question.
to start using credit cards more wisely?
Yeah,
Maybe it's setting up a budget.
could be.
Maybe it's downloading a budgeting app,
Yeah.
or even just taking a look
Yeah.
at your credit card statements. You know, really understand those fees.
Absolutely, knowledge is power.
It is. And every step you take
Yeah,
towards that financial awareness, it's going to lead to a brighter future.
for sure.
So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. Until next time. Stay curious and stay in control.
I like it.